love that. So, bro, let's talk a little bit of real estate before we gotta
Let's chat some real estate
talk
now.
about some real estate.
Yeah, word. A whole
You just
hour,
bought
bro. This
you
is
just bought
so
a
good.
house in Arizona that you're gonna cash flow $1,000 a month on and live in at the same time.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
talk about that?
I think it's great because I think the story actually lends itself to understanding how we got into real estate, and we got into real estate probably a little bit different than how a lot of maybe the people who are listening to this who started in wholesaling. We didn't start in wholesaling because we didn't need income. Our income came from our gym, right? And so we were able to create income from our gym, be able to stack cash. That was one of Alex's big like movements inside the Gym Legacy Group is stack cash, stack cash, stack cash. And so we started stacking cash. And I started to realize that like the more cash I had, actually I got like a lot more scared. I was like, well, now I have all this cash. What the hell am I going to do with this cash? Like it needs to go somewhere. Like this money in the bank. Like I didn't need all this cash. And so before that, I had already started learning about real estate. I knew back in my self-education process that I knew I wanted to invest in real estate. And so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in like 2016. So that was even before I got really uppity with the cash flow. I knew that once I had money, I knew where it was going to go, right? And that's looking back on it, looking at a lot of my fellow gym lords, my fellow gym owners, the mistakes they made is that they were able to make money as well, but they spent their money, right? They bought more equipment, they upgraded their gym.
Mm-hmm.
I did that a little bit, but I also realized really quickly is like I didn't want to spend a ton of money on that, and so I put all my money into real estate. And so we bought our first property in 2019, traditionally, literally through the banks, found the property, and put 25% down. So I think we put down like $66,000. We bought our first rental. It cash flowed like $700 a month. Still own that rental today. And we did that 2 or 3 times. And that was kind of our process for getting started into real estate. And yeah, it was great because we had a business that created cash, and we just literally dumped that cash into an investment property. And that's kind of how it all started.
I love that. I have another mentor who always teaches me the importance of like just having three different businesses, right? A business that's going to produce you cash, business that's going to produce you cash flow, and then a portfolio,
Yeah.
right? And that's awesome. You're taking your cash business and you're just dumping everything into rentals, which
Yeah.
is awesome. So
Yeah.
awesome.
So good.
So that's how our journey started. And then we found out really quickly that even though we made some money, it wasn't enough for how much real estate we wanted to buy, especially because we're buying in Bozeman, Montana, which our market, like at that time, the median home price was like $550,000, $600,000. That was like 3 years ago. Now it's $850,000, $900,000 because inflation, right? It's craziness, which has been helpful for us, but also now it's also harder to buy things at those price points, and so we started running out of cash real quick. So that's when I started looking for alternative avenues of getting into deals, and that's honestly how I ran into Pace. Here's another cool story, right? Like I love stories, if you guys couldn't tell. So, and I also think that a lot of things happen because we search for it and we look for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a way that I can continue to buy real estate because I love real estate. I love what it has done for my family. I love what it's done for the people around me. And I've always believed that is a much bigger pie that I can share and I can bring people in too. And I couldn't get that in fitness, right? Like fitness, it was great for me. My family was able to serve us, but I could never figure out how to make it so I could bring Daryl into my fitness business, make money, and Mike to bring Mike into my fitness business and make money. It's just like I tried it so many times, I just couldn't figure it out. And what I realized was it just wasn't a big enough opportunity. Like that's actually what it was. It really wasn't. And so real estate, man, that's why I love real estate so much because the opportunity is massive. Yeah. And I've always had this underlying desire to bring people in and create this huge freaking like empire, right? And so I was like, okay, but I need cash, and I need in my lending, like I was running out of properties I could buy on my credit, and so we were going to Disney World in November of 2021, so just last year. And from Montana, our flight was from Montana to Salt Lake, and then Salt Lake over to Florida. And so that flight was like 4 or 5 hours. And so I was like, I need something to listen to on this plane ride. And so I downloaded some podcasts off of YouTube, and again, I was listening to Alex. I listened to Kid McElroy. I listened to Chandler David Smith. So lots of real estate guys. And then I downloaded Bigger Pockets podcast, which I haven't listened to Bigger Pockets in years. Like that's how I got started learning about some of these people. Ryan Pineda. I found Ryan Pineda off the Bigger Pockets podcast, but I hadn't listened to Bigger Pockets in a long time. And for some reason, guys, like I'm not joking you. I went there and just like I randomly scroll through because those podcasts are a little bit longer, and those guys I listen to, they usually like all their videos are like 20-30 minutes. So I wanted something that was a little bit longer. Like, oh, a Bigger Pockets podcast would be great. Downloaded Pace's podcast. Didn't know who Pace was. And so I listened to that on the freaking plane to Florida. And on the whole time I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, dude. This guy is freaking blowing my mind. And keep in mind, like I just listened to Kid McElroy before that. I just listened to Chandler David Smith before that. Listened to Patrick and David, like Alex. Like obviously Patrick and Alex aren't real estate guys, but those other two are. I'm just like, this guy is saying things that, oh, I listened to Kiyosaki, and these like this guy is saying different things. I've never heard anyone talk about these things that Pace is talking about. And as soon as I got off the plane, I was like, Katie, like this guy is freaking crazy. I looked him up. I'm not shitting you guys. I looked him up on his Instagram. Found him on Instagram. Guess where Pace was? He was at Disneyland.
Oh, at Disneyland. Oh, shit.
Disney World. The same day I was there. No kidding. Like it was. I was like, dude, this is freaking nutty. So I messaged him. I messaged Pace, right? And I don't remember what I said. I can probably go look. Didn't respond to me, of course, right? But I was just like, oh my god, this guy's freaking amazing. I started following him a little bit more. And so our plan for Disney World was we took the kids down there. We actually brought Katie's mom down with us as well. And so we spent 4 days at Disney World, and then we had a day break, and then we were going to Tony Robbins right after that. And so on the day break, Katie's mom was taking the kids back to Montana, and then we were driving from Orlando down to West Palm Beach. And so I had set up a phone call with Pace's team to get us signed up into what a sub 2 on that day break, right? And so that's kind of how it all started. It's like we got done with Disney World, never connected with Pace, but then I signed up with Pace in the mastermind right there, and then we went to Tony Robbins for another 3 or 4 days, and then we flew back, and I think the next weekend or 2 weekends after that was the mastermind, right? And I got to keep going, right? You can't even make this shit up. So the guy tells me the dates of the mastermind. There was like 2 weeks after that. It was like December. Mike, do you remember what the dates were of the mastermind?
Yeah, it was in the beginning of December, like the 2nd or something.
So I looked at the dates. I was like, oh, Katie's like, oh, we have a swim meet that weekend. I was like, oh, where's it at? It's Phoenix, Arizona.
What the heck?
So that weekend that we were there at the mastermind, we brought our whole family there again because we already like that trip was already planned. We already planned that trip. We just had to make another day before. I think it was the only thing we had to do. Like I think we changed our flight, so we just made it from like a Thursday that I think we moved, or it was a Friday and we moved it to a Thursday or something like that. I can't quite exactly remember, but we basically moved the day of just one day. We were already going there.
That's
right? Like, sometimes it's just fate. It's just like we were in that right room, and like we were the only one in that room and didn't actually have a real estate business, right? Like we were just someone who like buy and hold, and we did it very casually in the aspect of like we didn't have marketing, we didn't have leads, and some things are just fate, right? And some things were just a belief that like I knew I needed to be in that room. I know I needed to meet you, Mike. I know I needed to be part of this community so I could eventually meet Daryl and be able to meet Pace and be part of this community. Like I just something about that was it was very calling.
So good, bro. That's crazy.
Something I noticed during this interview is that we have very similar, bro. You really trust your gut and you just go after it. Like it seems like you don't take much time like making a decision. It's like you make a decision, boom, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
I've gotten better. I've gotten better at that process. I used to be a lot quicker, and now I'm a little bit more methodical. Yeah. But I've also figured out a little bit of process. And when I say methodical, like I usually will give myself two or 3 days on big decisions. I'm like, okay, that's good. Or sometimes I'm just like, oh, right away, I'll know. But yes, ultimately, you got to be able to trust yourself.
It can definitely go both ways. Like me personally, I believe I need to work on that, giving myself a couple of days. But like, I don't know. It's like I see something and I'm like, oh yeah. I want to do it. Let's do it.
I've done it both ways, and ultimately it's just like when you believe in yourself, you'll figure it out. Again, no matter what happens, like always figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst thing? Like, literally, what is the worst thing that's gonna happen? Like Pace says it really, really, really well. It's like, are you still gonna have your birthday?
Yeah.
Are you still gonna have your wife?
Mhm.
Are you still gonna have food on the table? And ultimately, like, really, what that really means is that is it really that big of a deal? Like, money comes and goes. It's not important. Again, if you value money over relationships, you value money over time, like then it might seem like a big deal, but like I don't value money in that same aspect, right? I value money, what it can do and the resources it can provide, but as far as like it in itself, like it is to be used. It is not to be hoarded or stored. Right?
Yeah, bro. At the end of the day, what the heck is the worst thing that's gonna happen?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
how I go by everything.
So you're a real deal cash buyer, bro. How do people get deals to you? How do people work with you? I know you really love. I know you're really goal oriented, and you have a goal. I think to do it. What was it? A deal with how many people?
Yeah, so we have a goal right now that we're buying 50 homes in 50 states.
I love that.
Damn,
Right? And
I like that.
that means we need them in Massachusetts. We actually have a deal in Massachusetts on a contract right now. It would be a good deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Worcester.
No shit. I lived there for like 7 years.
Yeah, Worcester. It's gonna be a great deal too. It's a great deal.
Really? What is it?
All came from Sub 2. So kid named Brandon, he owns a Keegley franchise out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who brought it to me, and it's a 40 unit, and getting it on, it's a cash deal, but he has experience doing corporate rentals, and so we're able to transition it from just a normal rental into corporate rental prices, and they're drastically different. Able to get a decent deal on it, and it'll cash flow probably about $6,000 a month. Like it's going to be a monster cash flow.
Interesting, bro.
And I brought
that city's coming up like crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It looks like an amazing area. Looks like a great area. And I actually, so me and him partnered up on it, and then I found the money from a different mentorship, my Chris Crone mentorship I'm part of, brought in an amazing human being from that mentorship who's going to bring the money to this deal. And yeah, so there's like 3 of us on this deal, and so that's basically what we're doing is we're buying properties like that in Massachusetts. We're buying them in Montana, Arizona, like all 50 states. And that's exactly what we're doing. So if you have a deal, so we need 2 things, guys. We need deals. So if you guys have deals, or if you guys have capital, like that's what we need in order to make this thing happen. And we're only doing partnerships. We only want to do deals with people. Like if you're a wholesaler, like we'll pay your wholesale fee, but I want you to have equity too. Like as long as you're in the backyard and you can manage it, like please, like I want you in the deal. And so that's what we're doing, man. And people who have capital, again, if you want to be a lender on it, awesome. But if you want equity, like we're doing equity as well. So like our goal is to get 50 homes in 50 states because ultimately that's a big pie, right? And I want you to have your first piece of the pie. I want you to have some cash flow. I want you to have some equity, and I want it to be your first deal of many deals that we do together.
Bro, that's dope,
bro. Such a giver, bro.
You're the freaking man.
Yeah,
I love it, man. So, what's the best way to get deals to you?
Yeah, so I think you guys did it right there on the bottom of the screen. So you guys can get me on Instagram. That's gonna be the best place. YouTube is not a great place to message me on. You can watch some of our content on YouTube. Like we're posting about our deals. So we just we'll do deal breakdowns. Me and my wife Katie, we do a podcast as well called Invest With Us, where we break down the deals that we're doing, and so you guys can see kind of what we're buying, entry fees, spreads, things like that. But as far as the best way to get a hold of me, Instagram, that's where I am the most active. On Facebook, if you're in the Sub 2 community, you know, obviously you can be on Facebook. If you're not in Sub 2, go get in Sub 2. But Instagram, that's the easiest way.
Bro.
Logan, bro, this was a dope show. Daryl, like I keep saying after every show, we keep getting better.
It keeps getting better, bro. Logan,
we only chatted about real estate this much, which means it was a good show, right? Because hold on, Daryl. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but like this is actually important because I'm sure as you guys have noticed when you guys do you guys podcasts, and when me and Sam do our podcast, and even when me and Katie do our podcast as well, like the real fun stuff has nothing to do with the actual dollars and cents. It's nothing to do with the sticks and paper of real estate. It has everything to do with the people, the lessons, and the experiences. And that's actually what life is actually about.
For sure, bro. 100%.
So
good.
the real estate and money, like they're not the main, they're not the end, right? They're just a piece of the puzzle to get us what is really important, which is relationships, right? Which is experiences, which is stories. Like that's what actually matters. And Alex does a great job. So me and Alex both have a guy that we use for lots of our wisdom named Dr. Trevor Cashy. He's someone who's like very instrumental in my life. Another mentor who I paid a lot of money for, who's now also become a friend of mine. Super smart guy, right? Super smart guy. And that is like ultimately what it is about those relationships and about those people. And like when you have those things, like money is not the end all. Like it's just the connection to get that relationship, those experiences. And he always talks about like when you're on your deathbed, you're sitting there 80, 90, 100 years old, however you are going to be when you're going to die. Like, what are you going to talk about? Are you talking about all the money you made? Are you going to talk about, or are you going to talk about the experiences? You're going to talk about the stories. You're going to talk about the people, right? What's actually important to you?
So good, bro.
Logan, thank you, bro.
Yep.
This is a dope show.
Appreciate
I
you
didn't
guys
realize
so
how much we had in similarities. Like, bro, your story is dope.
Well, it's amazing. And Mike, like, I would love to connect with you more. Like me and Daryl, like we're always hauling at each other. But Mike, I'd love to connect with you more and honestly know about your story and just develop that relationship for sure.
Sure, bro. Appreciate you coming on here, dog.
So much, bro. You know how much I look up to you and Katie, dog. Let's definitely connect some more after this. I can't wait to be a part of that 50 deals in 50 states. I'm gonna hook you up. We're gonna get some deals together. I'm gonna count for like 5 of them. Watch.
I was gonna say I gotta get Logan some deals.
But
awesome, fellas. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, big dog.
We're out.